What we do here is go back.
Hello there everybody, how the devil are we all? I am alive and kicking. Yes, we've got more chitty chat about violence tonight. Yeah, it's grim, and it's turned up on my own doorstep, which is pretty fucked up. That's not nice. We'll get into all of that in a second. I'm going to jump on with No Justice in just a second. Cappy Booty. What? What are you talking about, Ripshaft? I don't know what that means. I hope you're safe. I am perfectly safe. We'd be under no illusions there. I'm fine, well away from it all. Thank you to Mamooth for resubscribing before we got going with fuck racist. Fuck racist indeed.
Stop it. Get some help.
And thank you to Elliot Serco for 4 months. Much love to you. We are on a hype train. If you want to make the hype train go choo-choo, you know what to do. Bits and subs are a thing. You can give subs to the community as well as subscribing with Amazon Prime. It's a thing that is available to you. I'll just hop on with No Justice to offer my, I suppose, local expertise and knowledge as a denizen of the fine city.
It's a stiff dick of poop.
It is. You're quite right, Lord Freetos. Much love. Thank you. And hello there, bullshit. Thank you for following. Okie doke. So, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Victory is ours!
We've got some local shit to cover, not just in Birmingham today, but in a town called Solihull, which you may very well not have heard of, and that's perfectly understandable. It's not that big a place. But it's the town I went to high school, I suppose, I should say, because Brits will understand what I mean there, and Americans will as well. Whereas if you say senior school, they think, what a school for old people. What? Yeah. So yeah, there were protests in Solihull, which is quite a well-to-do area. So it's not poor, uneducated people doing this. This is it's all very grim. God, I've bookmarked so much shy again. It's amazing. Here we go. Right, protests in Solihull. Right. It's where the HS2 station is being built, isn't it? Possibly. I don't even fucking know. If I'm entirely honest, I don't know. Yeah, secondary school means high school for Americans. Yeah. There's no such thing as middle high or junior high or whatever the fuck any of that shite is. There are two schools. You go to junior school and senior school. The crossover there is about the age of 11. And that is it. Yes. If we get to level 2 of the hype train, I will finger my faith in humanity because it is fucking dead. Yeah, not good. Check my message. What message did you send me, Phantom of Black? Where did you message me? Firstly, yeah, that's the first thing. Where did you message me? And secondly, what did you message me? Although I suppose if you answer the first, I can find the second out myself. Yes. Also, I couldn't find a good stream, a good live stream of the city, which is all rather annoying. Like, I could find absolutely perfect, crisp, up-to-date live streams from fucking Kyiv in the middle of a war, but I can't find anyone on the ground doing live streams of my own hometown. Here. Oh, sorry. So you just mean a thing you typed in chat, right? Thank you, Phantom. What did you write? Hi Kev, something I keep missing to tell you. The J.D. Vance couch stories are especially funny in Bulgarian, as the word for couch is divan. So his name is like J Couch S. J.D. Vance. Oh, okay, I see what you mean there. Divan is also a thing you can use for like a bed or a chair in the UK as well, in English. Little fact for you. Solihull is a satellite town stuck to the southeast of Birmingham. Yeah, it's its own town with its own council and stuff. It's something of a commuter town. I think a lot of people who live in Solihull commute into Birmingham. Ironically, for school, I had to commute out of Birmingham into Solihull and back. But there we go. Why the hell are Brits wearing Trump hats? Well, it's like a signal of racism, isn't it? If you wear a Trump hat, everyone knows what that means. It's passable as like, oh, this is just innocent. I want to make America great again or whatever. But everyone knows it means racist cunts. I'm a racist cunt, and other people will know. It's like a racist bat signal for everyone in the area, you know. Who is the snowflake? The snowflake in question is Lawrence Fox. It's Lawrence Fox. Make Angloids gammon again. That actually works, yeah. That works. I'm okay with that. Well, I'm not okay with that, but you know what I mean. Anyway. Yes. So if you wanted to do bits, messages and subs and all the rest of it, you can help me out on Patreon and or PayPal. You can... what else can you do? Go over to the Discord. You can check me out on the Discord. You can go over to Facebook, Twitter, although I probably won't be there much longer. Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram. I'm technically on Instagram as Rory Cats. That's a little bit weird when I go onto that and I have to sign in as Rory Cats. Feels like I'm doing ID fraud against a dead animal, which is just weird, you know. Another one of the great Kevin Logan internet schemes that never worked out in the slightest. Why is my father phoning me right now? Give me a second, everybody. Dad, I'm doing my thing. All right, Dad. I'll speak to you later. It's all right. Bye bye. Apologies. No, don't say hello to him. He knows I do my stream. He literally said, "Fucking knobhead. Oh, you're doing it a bit late. You know what? Even if I'd started at 7, I'd still be going now." Fucking twat. Kev's dad, tell us about the prostate cancer story. No! His name's not Kevin Senior. Jesus. Although he is fucking senior, the cunt. Rory Cat is alive in all our hearts, but not in a weird way. Well, hopefully. Certainly. Can someone go over to No Justice's stream and, like, poke her for me? Because I sent her the fucking link, and she's not responding. And she's definitely streaming. Be nice to your dad. No! I will not be nice to him. He knows I stream in the evenings. I had to have a go at him the other day because he comes round too late. Look, if he's going to come round for a cup of tea, I keep telling him, come round before, like, 2 PM. Because after that, I have to be preparing for a fucking show. And I don't know if it's going to be a day off or whatever. Look, just come round earlier in the fucking day.
Stop it. Get some help.
Thank you, Glenn Perry, for resubscribing. 39 months is mental, and I love you. Kev, you're so mean to your old man. He's a knob! He's a fucking bellend. Shut up. Stop being nice to him. I mean, he won't hear it anyway, because he doesn't know how to fucking use a computer, so there's no way he could log on and even hear this. Jesus. Anyway.
I'm sorry about the delay there, Kev. You caught me mid-rant.
Not a problem. I had to answer a fucking phone call from my father and tell him to fuck off on air. So, you know. That's how it works. It's not the only violence going down in Birmingham tonight. Hello. Anyway, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, I was in a rant about people talking about migrants diluting wages. I'm just like, well, they add to demand as much as they add to supply. Unless there's a massive oversupply of specific sectors of the economy, then you just protect your sector of the economy with a sectoral bargaining agreement. If you don't have an entirely like a neoliberalized labour market, super easy.
Yeah, no, it's definitely all those Nigerian brain surgeons that mean you lost your job at the fucking car factory. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, you know, well, most people lost their job at a car factory because the car factories all left to China because of globalization.
Exactly, because some white prick wanted to make money, so sold it off to China or Vietnam or wherever. Yes. No offence to any of the workers there, but unfortunately they get fucked over even worse. So you know. Anyway.
Yeah, there's a really good interview between Dean Baker and Unlearning Economics. I made this point on stream before, but I'll make it again because I'm hammering people's heads. But like the manufacturing jobs weren't good because they were manufacturing. There's something inherently good about a manufacturing job. They were just highly unionized, and also a lot of these were state owned, so they got good public sector wages or good trade union wages. The real answer is not to re-industrialize these places, it is to get jobs to them. Use industrial strategy to create jobs, whether they're industrial or whether they're administrative or whatever it is. Just make sure they're unionized, that the wages are good, and that we deal with the real enemy here, which is the gig economy and on-demand casualized labor with shit terms and conditions and pay, which is the real problem, not whether or not we build cars or not.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, quick shout out to a regular of yours, Jack Meller, on Twitter, for tagging us into scenes from Birmingham right now, as if I wasn't keenly aware of every single aspect of this story. God bless them. It's lovely, but it's a little bit like tagging LeBron James in How to Play Basketball 101. Just like chill.
I mean, tagging me is a good thing, so I had no idea what was going on.
No, that's absolutely fine. It's there's a bit of a media blackout, which fuels the weird speculation, as we'll get into. This is another example of misinformation, or at least partially heard information and rumour and speculation getting massively out of hand again. Who'da thunk it? We live in such a post-truth world that race riots just spark because some dickhead said a thing, and it snowballs and goes downhill. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of nonsense going on. Yeah, it's not getting any better, is it really? I think is the main underlying issue. Some of them have had to go back to work, so it's a bit quieter in some places, but that just means it's being stored up for the weekend as well, I imagine, which is not ideal.
I think, by the way, someone says that your audio sounds weird on my end. Is it automated to the camera microphone?
Oh, for fuck's sake, has it done that bollocks again? It has. Thank you for telling me. I always forget. Yeah, on the Google Meet thing, it automates me to my stream camera, which isn't even on, so I might as well just unplug the bastard thing, really. Yes, hopefully that should be clear now. That should be coming through crisply on my actual microphone, which is close to my face and records sound properly. Yeah.
So thank you, for the £2 super chat. If we go to Red Flare Info, there's Wednesday evening targets. Thank you. Appreciate the heads up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we've had, it's been kicking off a bit in Brom. It's been kicking off in Plymouth as well. I'm not entirely sure why geographically those two areas seem to have escaped the weekend, but now it's kicking off. It could just be happenstance, I suppose, rather than any grand master plan, but that seems to have happened. And it's been weird for me on a personal level, because as I'll take you through in just a second, it didn't just kick off in Brom. It kicked off yesterday in a town called Solihull, which I'm not sure if you're aware of as a place that exists. I don't know how well known that is as a place outside of...
Oh, Solihull. I mean, whenever I have to travel to my parents' house, I always travel through Solihull. So.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. It is a
the Birmingham to High Wycombe line. It goes
nice.
through Solihull, goes through Leamington Spa, Bicester, Banbury.
Yeah, Bicester, which is Bicester for Americans.
Yeah, yet another name that is not spelled how it's pronounced.
Well, the Cestas never are, of course. Although, interestingly, Cesta, a little history fact for you, if it's a Cesta or a Casta, it means there was a Roman fort there at some point.
Well, there you go. I'm glad
castrum.
I'm glad that somebody on this stream has done any history research at all. Somebody's an expert on history like you are, and someone who knows fuck all like me.
It's absolutely fine. It's a useless piece of information, really. It's a piece of ancient etymology. It's never been of any real use or value to me, but I know it.
I mean, to be fair, it's useful in the fact that it's something that you can use for social media engagement. Etymology nerd is very well followed on TikTok.
Very much so. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So the town of Solihull. It's just outside of Birmingham. It's basically attached to Birmingham. It's a sort of a commuter town in that a lot of people from the town will work in Birmingham and travel back. But it has sort of an economy of its own, really, as well. It has its own council and all the rest of it. It's quite a well-to-do area, quite posh. Literally has 2 private schools within the borough. One of which was attended by Stuart Lee. He went to Old Silhillians, which is one of the private schools. So quite a well-to-do area. So when they go on about it being poor people or stupid people, uneducated, lower class people, clearly not, because they were out marching through Solihull yesterday. These fucking twats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they took. You'll hear there twats on motorcycles for some reason as well. And they literally went into the town centre, which is, not to sound too Alan Partridge, but has been pedestrianised. And but they still went in there with fucking motorcycles. Again, law and order, Now, thankfully, this is one of the only good bits of the fact that there are no real... I'm not sure the police should be pumping their fist at that, but anyway... the fact that it's so racially undiverse in Solihull, there aren't that many brown people for them to find an attack. It's not the only good bit about it, basically. And so these are the streets I know very well, and it's fucking grim. And this is right in the centre of the town as well. And I don't even know. Again, what do they want exactly? Because I assure you, there are no migrant centres in Solihull. It's a posh area,
Well, what's one of the banners? Just again, I was sick of pointing this out, but one of the banners says "Stop illegal immigration." There is no illegal immigration. This is a Conservative Party like politicisation of irregular migration, which isn't illegal.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's just another Conservative Party buzzword phrase that everybody's picked up, including Ben Bradshaw, we saw earlier on today, that's been spread around widely as if it's true when it isn't. It's politicisation, it's electoralism.
Well, exactly.
Right? It's electioneering.
When they say, save our kids, it's already illegal to stab kids to death. That person is being prosecuted. I don't know exactly what more you want the justice system to do. Policing, absolutely. There are lots of things that the police could be either empowered to do or stopped from doing or reinforced or whatever to try and help knife crime. Because knife crime is much more rampant than random attacks on fucking on children. Like, it's mostly adults being fucking stabbed to death. It's awful.
You tell you what is a problem that links both adults and children together. As I said before, it's femicide.
Yes.
Right? It's weird how they never go. It's all save our children when they think that it's Muslims when it actually isn't. But when we should be talking about save our women.
Yes.
Because women are the one being attacked, but they can't say that because there are some people out there probably go back and don't really actually give a shit about violence against women.
Indeed. Technically, this is Tamworth rather than Solihull, although really the distance between those two places is pretty negligible. It's certainly walking distance, but they are technically two different places. But either way.
Also, demographically, they're different. Actually, Tamworth is, I think, more white than Solihull is.
Really? That would be surprising to me. But okay,
I was checking out Tamworth, checking out the demographics of Tamworth online the other night.
Okay.
But I think specifically with Tamworth as well, this is a community that used to be this was a car manufacturing city. They did the original city was the town, I guess, was built around a car manufacturing plant that then got moved to Cannock. So another place with very little industry and jobs because of Thatcherism. Yay!
Indeed so. And then there's them burning down another supposedly immigrant hotel. Who knows if there were any immigrants in there? It really doesn't matter.
It is a migrant hotel. Okay. This is the one that the Labour Tamworth MP brought up as a point of order in the Commons, saying we want our hotel back.
It's a Holiday Express. What do you mean you want your hotel back? Like, when did Holiday Express become a fucking a place of pride? We want our hotel back. For what? No one in that town has ever stayed there. No one.
I mean, I think she was just trying to stave off Reform UK by going after the anti-migrant vote.
Well, you know what, Labour? You're a part of the fucking problem then. You have led. I
can't believe you'd be such a Tory enabler to say that Labour have any problems with have any kind of culpability with any problems that we're seeing.
It is sort of bad in a way. I responded. Who's the person I responded to on Twitter? I can't remember, but I put something relatively salient about Sir Keith and his lack of response, and I got a lot of engagement. A lot of people liked it. About 200 people, 300 people, whatever. Which for a very new and very small channel, that's fine. But a lot of them had reform stickers and stuff. And I was like, oh no, because I didn't specifically say I'm a leftist and I think this. They were all liking it, and I felt quite bad about that. And then I thought, fuck them, who cares? Here we go. So it was in response to a guy called Brendan May, who is a business entrepreneur, advocate for pragmatic, fact-based environmentalism. Yeah, Malta. Going on about he tweeted out Keith's speech, going on about you should be very scared of us, far right thuggery. Yeah. And I responded there with it took him days of inaction to give a tepid, soundbite-ridden, lukewarm statement, and that's about that's good enough for me. Oh, sorry, that's good enough for you, ? Right? And I had all these fucking Maltas with fucking... there was gender criticals and reform people, and I just thought, oh no. Oh God, they're so stupid, these people. Ugh, anyway. So yeah, that's Kevin Logan, Tory enabler.
I get lots on the other side as well, where they'll try and claim that I'm some kind of conservative because I'm attacking Keir Starmer. This happened in my TikTok comment, so I just stitched it with their comment and just the clip of Ash Sarkar going, "He's not my hero. I'm a communist, you idiot."
Exactly. Yeah. I dislike Keir Starmer because he is a conservative, not because I am one.
Exactly.
Anyway, front page of the Daily Mail. It's interesting. Again, I mean, my opening meme was of various Tory wankers and Nigel Farage dressed as hot dogs, and the Daily Mail might as well have had a hot dog sleeve themselves.
Exactly. Andrew Pearce on Good Morning Britain this morning going, "How dare you, Zara Sultana? How dare you try and say the Daily Mail? Please directly quote me a Daily Mail headline, even though that fucker knows they've been stoking this shit from the word go." A real Lady Macbeth moment. All these people out there frantically washing all the blood off their hands in the sink. Why won't the hands get clean? What's going on?
Out, damn spot. Out. Fuck yes. Quoting Shakespeare, bitches. Anyway, Yes, they're attacking, and quite rightly, in a very, out of any context way, quite rightly attacking Tommy Robinson for stoking race riots from his sunbed. Absolutely correct and righteous. The problem is, of course, they have done the footwork that allows the likes of Tommy Robinson to even get on that grift. The grift exists because of the scumbags at the Daily Mail and the Sun who have stoked this fear deliberately. They have the blood on their hands as much as he does. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. There's a whole rogues gallery of complicit people here.
Yeah. This lad has become my personal mascot for the riots. He's amazing. He appears fucking everywhere. Look at him. He's just in all of these.
He's everywhere. He's been arrested, by the way.
Oh, he has. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, we'll get to it.
Look at me, man. I mean, to be fair, that's probably actually. I got the guy with a tray of unbaked steak bakes. As my Basmati Bandit 2024 era. I think this picture's even better. Handful of gingerbread men and cookies.
And still got his fag on. By the way, that's not the slur, Americans. He's got a cigarette in his mouth, is what I mean. Shut up.
Yeah.
He's got a cigarette in his mouth and he can't even flick the ash because his hands are full of stolen cookies. Amazing. Anyway, oh yes, so Tommy Robinson was threatening people, deleted it. Coward. Here we go, yeah. Now, where is he? We've definitely got his name somewhere. He was arrested. Where is he?
John Honey, was it?
Here we go, John Honey from Hull. A very busy shoplifter and far-right hooligan over the weekend. He has been arrested and I believe pled guilty and will be sentenced later in the month.
It'd be very, very difficult for him to try and plead not guilty to all of those things he's on camera as doing.
Yeah, exactly. He's not hiding. He's not really not hiding, the lad. He's literally got an X on his fucking chest. Come on. You're making it a little too easy. Oh, old Nige. Apparently, did you know that all of this racist it's to do with Black Lives Matter? Or should I say BH Mim, as we found out.
BH Mim. Clearly, he took my advice from stream yesterday and has decided, maybe I should say that these things are bad and making my side look bad.
Well, he did, but also, like I say, he's still kind of doing I would just classic whataboutery, in essence. To quote the man himself, "I've been totally appalled by the levels of violence seen in the last couple of days. Lol. The levels of intimidation and threat to life have no place in a functioning democracy. That so many police officers have been injured trying to keep the peace is shocking, and we should not discount the use of the army if the situation were to deteriorate further." So again, just authoritarianism. Yay.
Woo. "In
the short term, we will quell the riots." What do you mean we? Who the fuck is we?
You were the one fucking inciting you, bellends.
Well, not just that, but it seems he's acting as if he's Prime Minister. We will quell the riots. You have no part in quelling the riots. You started the fucking riots, you bell piece. Anyway. But deeper, long-term problems remain. I mean, again, out of context, correct.
You're a member of Parliament. That's a long-term problem.
That is.
Deal with this fucker for 5 years.
Absolutely. "In the short term, we will..." Oh, sorry, no, that's the previous stanza. Ever since the soft policing of the Black Lives Matter (BH Mim) protests, the impression of two-tier policing has become widespread. By the way, their use of two-tier policing is so amazing. When we literally just had a Muslim guy in Manchester Airport being, essentially an attempt at decapitation by the police officer with his fucking foot. So not exactly soft touch policing, and they just sent down peaceful protesters from Just Stop Oil for 5 fucking years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I mentioned this before you came on as well. We literally had the spy cops revelations last week at a police inquiry. They're just admitting that all of the spy cops share. How many people from the right wing how many right-wing women were raped by police officers pretending to be in relationships with them to have children and disappear into the night as agents of the state? How many right-wing groups were infiltrated in that way, do you think?
Well, to be fair, they don't need to infiltrate those right-wing groups because they're often officers in those organisations.
Yeah, why don't they infiltrate themselves?
Exactly, yeah, they're just members, just regular members, The Prime Minister's faltering attempts to address the current crisis have only added to that sense of injustice. The majority of... Again, injustice. Where's the injustice here? What are you talking about? What, the right-wingers... Oh no! We smashed everything up and set shit on fire and the police weren't happy with us. Is a weird take in terms of, you know, playing the victim, lads. The majority of our population can see the fracturing of our communities as a result of mass, uncontrolled immigration. Uncontrolled. Uncontrolled, Nigel. So
that guy, it's incredible as well for him to say uncontrolled migration. Again, we had like pretty high net migration these last couple of years. And then I'm saying, okay, you ran the Brexit party as a spoiler to make sure Boris Johnson became Prime Minister. Boris Johnson is directly to blame with his kind of loosening of visa requirements for migrants that has led to the high levels of net migration that we have currently. You are directly to blame for this, Nigel. You deliberately got this man into government by trying to kneecap Jeremy Corbyn, and you're now complaining about the dinner that you've been served. It's your fault, mate. You did this.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, the country was offered socialism and you said it was anti-Semitic. Well, enjoy your barbarism, I guess.
Indeed.
Yeah, also the idea of it being uncontrolled. Wasn't the whole point that we have controls, it's just they weren't being implemented properly? That's not uncontrolled, that's just badly controlled. Being hyperbolic and stupid about your language is what gets us into the situation of riots, Nigel.
Yep.
Anyway, uncontrolled immigration, whether legal or illegal. So again, just stop all legal migration as well, I imagine. Interesting. Yet to attempt to debate this in the public arena leads to immediate howls of condemnation. You have been elected a member of parliament. You can stop with that bullshit. You don't get to claim the victimhood of I'm being silenced when you have literal legal immunity from prosecution for the things you say in parliament if you ever turned up.
True.
A popular explosion without integration was always going to end badly. Population explosion. Fuck me. Read, Kev, you prat. Right. Was always going to end badly. I have said this for many years.
The Neanderthal is blaming gay pride for the police, not 14 years of austerity or frozen pay since 2020 in the police. No, it's there too.
Again, I keep hearing these arguments about saying, you know, that we have no integration in the society. And I'm like, no, we do have pretty well integrated migrants. It's not like, again, people are making this argument before. It's not like Paris, where you've got people, essentially all the people from ethnic minority communities living essentially in ghettos and rings around Paris, right? Which does create community discohesion. We have incredibly well integrated migrant communities to the point at which they're the ones being racist at the top of the government. And on top of that, they're the one. There's a really great speech of a Muslim with a bunch of people there to protect their community, a bunch of Muslim guys out there to protect the community, saying in the most like northeastern accent you ever heard. I think it was in Sunderland. And saying we're not like them, you know, don't do anything that would make you seem to be like them. We are better than them. Show you how good Muslims can be. And they say Allah Akbar in response. And it was something incredibly tough. In general, I do love seeing like British Muslims with the thickest British accents that you've heard.
Yeah.
But like if you're integrated to the part where you're literally using like Macam slang, like
it is nice. Yeah. Sorry, wait. So, no, considering he's gone on about uncontrolled immigration, the next sentence is particularly disgusting. We must have a more honest debate. Really, Nigel, we need to have an honest debate about immigration, do we? About the uncontrolled immigration that you claim exists that clearly doesn't fucking exist, you prick.
There was a debate. Like, you spent the entirety of the election campaign debating, trying to make this the immigration election, even though most people in this country cared far more about the NHS and cost of living than they did about immigration.
Yeah. And
we had a discussion about immigration, and there was a riposte from the opponents, and you said your piece. Like, you've had your conversation. Loads of people disagreed.
Yep. We need honest debate about these vital issues and give people the confidence that there are political solutions that are relevant to them. A recall of Parliament would be an appropriate start to this. Now, actually, he ends on a point that I agree with. It really ought to have been fucking recalled last week. Every turn, the Prime Minister has been found absolutely wanting. His initial comments were weak, piss weak. His absolute lack of any action or even wanting to appear in public for several days as major urban conurbations went up in fucking flames is pathetic. He was still planning on going on a holiday until he absolutely couldn't, and they had to, essentially someone behind the scenes must have fucking taken him to one side and said, you literally can't fucking leave right now, shut up. He called a Cobra meeting today, what, fucking 5 days after this started? Do you understand? Do you understand the word emergency and what that fucking means, you bellend? You don't wait a fucking week. It's an emergency. Fucking Christ! Every turn he does the weakest, dumbest shit.
Yeah, Captain Hindsight.
He's fucking hell, man. Imagine if we got into some real shit. Imagine if the Russians invaded. He might call a Cobra meeting 2 weeks after they take London. Fucking idiot.
I have a Cobra meeting, and there's Sergei Shoigu sitting at the end of the table going, I'm glad that you've come to Cabinet Office briefing room A.
Yeah, exactly. God damn it. Yeah, oh yes, that's your man. Mass deportations needed. Fuck off, Robinson. You're not even from here. Send them back. White Britain's first. That's in Liverpool.
Only I tweeted out about this. What I was again like, you're so desperate to do racism that you bring a stepladder to your riot, to your pogrom.
Well, because, you say that it could just be.
We can't have send them back at eye level. We need it right at the top of the house. We're going to get our stepladder to do this because they must have done right. You can't. That S is. They could have climbed up like the bay windows to do M back, but where they've said send, they would have had to have had a stepladder for this, unless they were fucking standing on each other's shoulders, human pyramid style. Which, to be fair, is commitment to the bit.
Well, you say stepladders. I think the more appropriate trampoline. I could respect the use of trampoline. Stepladders is easy mode.
Maybe they were climbing on top of wheelie bins. We do know that they are very happy to. Maybe the wheelie bins themselves happen to be the favourite tool, the favourite utensil. Sorry, the favourite utensil of the far right agitator.
Well, it's appropriate because they do belong there. Yes, they do belong inside of the bin.
It's true.
Some turf stuff. What's this? Oh yeah, Tommy Robinson being a twat. Yeah, it's quite nice to see people out there in places like Middlesbrough cleaning the place up. Always good.
Yeah.
Not particularly interesting to watch, but good nonetheless. Oh yeah, just in case anyone was wondering, this was Nigel Farage back in 2020. Going around the country, chauffeur-driven, naturally, because man of the people, going to hotels that were housing migrants, and reminiscing that maybe some of them might be ISIS.
As you do, yeah. My favourite ISIS recruits usually come from Eritrea.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Or indeed Rwanda, as the parents of the stabber did, you know.
The famously very Islamic country, Rwanda.
Yeah, with like 1% Muslims, like literally a smaller percentage than in Britain. So here we go. Here he is, just casually stoking up racism and pointing people at the very establishments which are currently going up in flames. But he's not got any blood on his hands. He's an innocent victim in all of this, naturally.
Literally, again, like the philosophy tube video about Steve Bannon, just like the guy reading the newspaper, just like space of arson attacks recently, and I'm just like, I wonder who could possibly be to blame.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What's interesting as well, you say obviously man of the people with his chauffeur. I shit you not, mate. I shit you not, Kev. I was watching a Spectator video with Farage in it, talking about migration. It was him versus Fraser Nelson.
Right.
And he was saying that there are no places any of the schools left because of migration, right? And that's, first of all, that's not true. Actually, schools are having to close down because there aren't enough kids to fill them. That's what's actually like in this country. There aren't too many children. School places are actually going down because of some areas of the country being dispopulated so much and not being a high enough birth rate. But regardless, and then he said, "You know how I know this? My driver told me." And I'm just like, his singular connection to the state of what education is like for normal people in this country is the fact that he has a chauffeur that he asked about.
Of course.
Man of the people.
Working class salt of the earth, old Nige. He's met some
Absolutely.
people who exist in the real world. And that's the same as being like a normal person, obviously.
Yeah, my butler once told me.
Oh, well, it's no wonder he went crazy about that Coots bank account, eh? Because that's
I
as
know.
close as he's ever come to oppression in his entire fucking life. Prick. Oh yeah, here was the riots because of Hamas clip. Always good.
Yeah.
Why are people angry? I'll tell you why they're angry. Because Hamas were allowed to overtake London, overtake our capital city. Every weekend, flying ISIS flags, Hamas flags, calling for jihad. The police did nothing.
And that's not true, actually. People who waved, I think there was like 2 people who wore explicit Hamas iconography, and they were both arrested,
Yes.
and they were charged with supporting prescribed terrorist groups.
Yeah.
Calling for jihad can mean any sorts of things. Again, no one's calling for a holy war to fight London or whatever. It can just mean a spiritual struggle or whatever. That's all jihad means, a struggle.
Yes.
And
But more
what
importantly,
was the other claim that he made? Waving ISIS flags? There have
Well,
been
yeah.
0 ISIS flags.
0 ISIS flags, and also saying like Hamas have taken over London. Do you, no, my man, it's anti-genocide protests. That's not really
And also,
the same thing.
Hamas are busy in Doncaster, mate.
That's true, but he wouldn't know because he's not from the UK, is he? He's Spanish, isn't he? I think.
True.
Tomo.
True. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. They did again. This anti-genocide protests, because I mean, this idea that the police have nothing isn't true. In fact, they've been broadly peaceful. There's been a couple of times there was a couple of people who did anti-Semitic things. There was the people who wore the patches with paragliders on them, which is probably little below the belt.
Yeah,
and they've been reprimanded. But someone got fucking charged by the police for having a sign that just called Suella Braverman and Rishi Sunak coconuts. A little bit, a little bit under the belt, but it's inciting racial hatred. Are you sure, mate?
Yeah, but also interesting that that's his go-to. Why are people angry? Because we're not pro-Israel enough. Do you want to make it more
And yet
explicit
he got
what
sent
you are?
away from all the pro-Israel demonstrators didn't want him there. They told him to go away.
Yeah.
He tried to bring the EDL to the pro-Israel march. They told him to fuck off.
Yeah, understandable. No one wants his stank on them. Yeah.
No, exactly.
Here we go. These lads getting up early in Middlesbrough. Good lads.
Jim Speaks says Anjem Choudhury was done for hate preaching. He was hate preaching before. Well, I mean, Anjem Choudhury and the people who say that they want to foment an Islamic caliphate that comes to the UK, right? These groups have now been prescribed.
Yeah.
This is what Hizb ut-Tahrir they exist to do, is to try and bring Islam to the West peacefully. They're not terrorists, but they do want to undermine, the Muslim countries that are secular to turn them into Muslim countries, and they have been proscribed. And I think that's the correct decision.
Yeah.
But under that same logic, you should absolutely do the same for Patriotic Alternative and the EDL, because they want to get rid of Muslims rather than make everybody Muslim.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm here with Nigel Farage, Britain's biggest wank state. Oh. I'm here.
Love lie. Literally true as well. They measured.
Up the Ra.
True. It's so interesting that this guy wants to be taken seriously as not Humza Yousaf, who's on the screen now, that Nigel Farage wants to be taken seriously as a statesman. When I've heard him say the phrase, "Bussy be so talented it's doing cartwheels." And
Skibbity spider climbed up the skibbity spout.
Yeah, and fucking it's the big chungus alert. Yeah, what the fuck, mate? I've heard you wish fucking Jerry Adams a happy birthday. Just chill the fuck out. Anyway, Humza Yousaf had his say. Interesting enough.
Then there's the job of politicians in terms of the political discourse when it comes to confronting the far right. Actually, what we should be seeing is politicians using the evidence in front of them and making the positive case for migration, because virtually every study under the sun, notable peer-reviewed study, tells us that migrants have contributed to our country over the years, the decades, to our economy, to our academia, to our businesses, to all walks of life. Migrants have contributed. We haven't made that case. Politicians haven't made that case. I'm afraid.
And it's actually he makes an interesting point, and I draw the analogy with the pre-Brexit issue. Not to make everything about Brexit in that way, just it's a comparison. That part of the misinformation that was allowed to fester for decades before, which led up to, the nonsense, is that for their own political ends, the Tories didn't want to touch the EU issue because they knew that it would crack open into a civil war, which we've seen played out for the last fucking 15 years. And the Labour Party didn't want to touch it because they knew that the areas of places like the Red Wall and inner city London, which maybe didn't have massively pro-EU stances, it would hurt them in those areas. So both of the major political parties ceded that territory, and the likes of the BNP and the EDL and UKIP and all of those other groups were able to go in there and just lie unchallenged for decades. And unfortunately, migration is the same sort of thing, but for different reasons, I suppose. The Tories want cheap labour. They just want a pool of cheap labour. That's it. Businesses want it, so the Tories will do it. And the Labour Party, to a say, sort of are on that well as well, but also are, I think, more welcoming. I think, in a general sense, they're less overtly racist in some respects, but know that unfortunately that would play badly with the same group of people who weren't pro-EU. So again, they don't want to touch the issue, which again seeds the ground on a very contentious blue touch paper issue for the far right to just go in there unchallenged and bullshit. Again, it's the same pattern of liberal weakness in the face of adversity.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Absolutely. Just this is a complete tangent, but I just thought before it goes off of my YouTube chat, somebody in YouTube chat saying that DJ Hazard is great, and I'm like, yeah, the Machete EP was banging. That's the end of that. You continue.
I
don't know why.
No idea what that is, but I will take that as a comment on its own.
I think for some reason people just talk about drum and bass in my YouTube chat.
Again, that is a topic I will leave to other people.
Yeah. I just sort of flew across my screen. I was like, I love that EP, so I'm going to mention it.
Yes.
I'm afraid to the failures of a number of politicians. When we've had that economic decline, it's far easier for those in power to point to the migrant, to point to the other, and use them as a point the finger of blame towards them. So confrontation isn't just about the law. That is important. But confronting the ideology is also crucial.
Yeah, a worthwhile contribution in, unfortunately, very rare for major politicians to say anything of note whatsoever. Pablum is what you usually get. I don't know if you've seen any of the nonsense of either the Prime Minister or the Home Secretary, and it's just nothing. They've not said anything of worth. They might as well have not been there. And that's kind of scary, because like the police don't have a handle on it, the government don't seem to have a handle on it. So like, is it literally just down to vigilante defence then? Because what else stops this?
Well, it's difficult to try and find like direct solutions, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tricky, man. It's very scary stuff.
Like how do you de-radicalize these people?
I don't know.
Actually, for that, by the way, that there's a clip there that you scrolled past.
This
there,
one,
sorry.
yeah.
No, it was slightly further up actually.
Was it? Further
that clip there you've got with Jonathan Portes.
Yes.
I've got the whole clip. I think we should watch it. I think I'll make a good segment. I've got the whole clip of him talking with Trisha Goddard. On my literally on the tab to the left. So I'll grab that for you.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll pop it in your DMs, but after we've looked through your bookmarks.
Well, we can take a break from this, I guess. Get back to Birmingham after, I guess, or unless. Well, it depends how you want to play it. It's up to you.
Well, we'll finish off your bookmarks
okay.
so we don't get lost, yeah.
Okie doke. So I'll skip past that then. Anyone in Scotland fancy building a wall? I'll get it, lads. I get it. That's yeah. England is not going to be paying for it though, so don't try and pull that Trump shit.
I think there was one person. I think they saw somewhere in Glasgow was on fire, but I think we've mostly seen these things only happen in England and Northern Ireland.
Yeah, England, Northern. I think there was one very brief outbreak in somewhere like Newport or something like that, but that could have just been a random outbreak of violence because it's Newport. No offense, no offense to the Newportians. I don't know what the fuck you call them. Yeah, Corbyn with some of the independent people. Wrote, I think, an interesting enough letter. Just thought that would be worth mentioning. Well, who's this lad? A man who burgled Spello Library, so that was the one we talked about that was set on fire, wearing a balaclava.
Do you know that library they put out? There was somebody did a GoFundMe for it, and it's had over £100,000 in donations in 3 days.
Fucking based. See, there are
Nigella Lawson even donated.
Really? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So during the Wiccans right said, "Nice one, lad," as he was led to the cells. Adam, very, very scouse response to the situation. Adam Wharton, 28 of Selwyn Street in Walton, appeared in Liverpool Magistrates Court after he was charged with burglary in relation to disorder. Wharton, who was brought into the dock wearing a grey prison-issue tracksuit, pleaded guilty to the charges put before him. His case was sent to Liverpool Crown Court for sentencing in August. So, again, fuck around and find out, I guess.
True.
Yeah, and then I bookmarked some people, but it doesn't matter because we don't know them. But anyway, charged, lots of charges going on. Okay. And now we get to Birmingham, I guess. Now, this one just made me laugh. There's always a ginger convert. Because as soon as I saw this bloke, it instantly made me think of Four Lions. And it's so true. And it's not a funny situation, but it did make me laugh, so, you know. Here he is.
The solution is we bomb the mosque. Radicalise the moderates, bring on end of days.
It's Jewish spark plugs.
Jews invented spark plugs to control global traffic. For future YouTube and Twitch TOS moderators, these are quotes from Four Lions. I am not advocating for these things.
Also, it does make me think, I reckon no matter who wins the race war, I reckon I could pull it off. Right? I'm white enough that I'd survive if that's the way it goes. But if the Muslims win this, I reckon put on one of these. I don't even know what the fuck that vestment is called. Yeah, and I've got the beard for it. I reckon I could be a convert.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh yeah, so loads of people being done in Liverpool naturally. Oh yeah, Bordesley Green. So this was we'll get to it, but Bordesley Green is an area in Birmingham where it's kicked off a bit. There was, and this is where the misinformation comes in. There was some screenshots of what's that the thing called, the messaging site that I've totally forgotten. Telegram, a far right Telegram, saying they were going to meet in Bordesley Green, which is an interesting area. It's sort of quite typical of Birmingham in a sense. It's got some pockets of deprivation, but there are some pretty well-to-do areas in there as well. There's a good mixture of Asian descent people, and there's a lot of white people, and there's some black people. It's a real sort of melting pot, really. Which means obviously it can be a flashpoint for racial tensions if people are going to stir shit up. And so there was talk that they were going to meet in Bordesley Green, the far right, and kick off. And so an absolutely massive group of Muslim lads, and I mean massive, we'll see in a second, like it must have been all of the Muslims in the area, I guess, turned up, tooled up, as I said they would be. If the EDL turn up in Brom, they're going to get carved. I don't say that with any sense of joy or anything like that, because it is violence and it will lead to people probably dying. But that's a thing that they will bring upon themselves if that happens. If they turn up, violence will be meted out upon them.
You came to the wrong neighbourhood, motherfucker.
Yeah, but exactly. Yeah, just leave it. You know, this is not the Shires, lads. This is not white territory in some weird fucking, you know, John Major fantasy or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so and the Heartlands Hospital, which is literally right around the corner from the scenes you're about to see, that I've got bookmarked. One of the big sort of 5-6 hospitals, whatever it is in the city. It's just around the corner, and they was literally saying to staff that they could knock off early to get back home because they were planning to meet at 5 and stuff. You know, it's fucked up. Really, really fucked up. Right. Several countries, including Malaysia and fucking Australia, are telling their citizens not to travel to the UK.
Absolutely.
They're literally warning their own citizens not to come here. We are making ourselves into a fucking pariah. Jesus.
I mean, we spent the last however many years just making our country so shit so that nobody comes here.
Yeah. But Australia, even the wildlife wants to kill you in Australia, and they're like, it's not safe, lads. Don't stay here with the you know, the black widow spider and the fucking kangaroo that can gore you to death. You can't trust the humans on that shithole. Jesus. Anyway. Oh yeah, that's Yakli and his connections to Russia and Israel, if anyone wants to go and look at that thread. Oh yeah, Keir Starmer's approval rating's gone through the floor. Not a massive surprise.
His approval rating basically stays the same, i.e. the gang of like Starmer right centrists who think he's the adult in the room stayed identical over the last how many weeks, but his disapproval rate, people who disapprove of his actions, is massively shot up.
Yeah. What pregnant person turns up to the riot? The fuck's that about?
Yeah.
Like, it was mad if you turn up with your live child. If you turn up with an unborn one, what the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus Christ. Ugh. Oh yeah, Sky News whinging about the fucking microphone. Oh, in the latest, the leopards weren't supposed to eat my face moment, Andrew Tate, the pederast, you know, the guy who literally is a human trafficker and a rapist and just an all-round piece of shit. Anyway,
I don't know. He's on trial, I believe, for human trafficking. I think that he is. I think that from the kind of things that he said that he's done to women, I think that is the very least something that I would describe as sexual assault. But I don't think he's been charged with those things yet. He's been convicted of those things.
I don't think he listens. I don't think it's an issue. I don't think he's gonna sue us. Like it.
I just need to keep. I'm always worried that these things are gonna happen. So I'm just gonna make sure I.
Okay. Well, look. You cover your arse. My arse is remaining entirely uncovered. Okay.
Okay,
I'm leaving my arse out there for the world to see. Yeah. Anyway, so Andrew Tate says, "This is the first time in my life I'm getting serious racist insults for being brown from white people in the UK. Not a good look."
Incredible, genuine incredible for somebody who the other day was essentially he was whipping up a frenzy. The kind of shit that he said in his car and the video that he posted was clear incitement as far as I'm concerned. Again, I'm no legal expert, so take this with a pinch of salt, but it looked to me like he was inciting and say people, the men of this country, don't get up off their ass and do something to protect their women or protect their children whilst their kids are being killed by migrants. I'm just like, if this isn't get up off your street and start fucking going and burning down hotels, like, it's the closest he's going to get to saying it without saying it, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong to say that?
I think that's an absolutely astute reading of the situation. But yeah, you literally have sided yourself with fascists constantly.
He is a Muslim. He's literally a Muslim trying to get people to go to task. So essentially being one of the earliest people spreading things that's caused people to go and attack mosques.
Yeah. But like, even if I'm not entirely convinced that he's really converted to Islam, rather than it's kind of a bit or whatever. But even if he has, he is a person of mixed race, right? His father was an African-American man. And a very fine chess player, an interesting background. Anyway, so he's a mixed race man, hanging around with white supremacists. What did you think that, like, it was never going to happen to you? Did you honestly think that being one of the good ones would save you? Because it won't. I hope you've learned a lesson.
And again, like the people he's allying with now are the people who call people who are pro-Palestine as members of Hamas, and this guy was being openly pro-Palestine in his posting.
Yeah, and that's why you fell out with Tommy Robinson, wasn't it? Over this, Tommy Robinson described him as as a useful idiot. I think it was. I heard him call him. Yeah. Even though they used to be acolytes, I mean, they both fucking door knocked Mike Stutsbury, for fuck's sake. Mad.
Really? They both did it?
Yeah. Tate turned up in his big fucking supercar back when he was allowed back in the UK, before he ran off because, he was going to get prosecuted for human trafficking. Anyway, he turned up in his big Subaru and posted a fucking TikTok outside of his house waiting for him.
Jesus.
That's not, how that's not, like, obvious intimidation, I don't know, but He eventually went to Ukraine not long after. Anyway.
Or maybe I should rethink this whole YouTube thing. Jesus.
It's worrying. There are issues, definitely. Like it's not without its dangers. Anyway, oh yeah, we sort of looked at that. Gus Khan, you want to have a look?
I do love Gus Khan. He was so I mean, this seems really kind of small fry as a thing to say. I fucking loved him on Taskmaster. He was so
good.
funny.
He was good.
Oh dear. It's a mess. It's a mess. Go up north. Look at that mosque there. Get the bricks through that mosque window. Just get them through. Doesn't Ali go to that mosque? Isn't Ali a good mate? Yeah, no, Ali's he's a good lad. But I don't care. Get the bricks through the mosque. They're doing jihad in there. They're doing terrorism in there. Did Ali bring you samosas from the mosque in Ramadan? He did. And I did like the samosas. But get that mosque smashed to pieces. Come to Allen Rock. Brother, if I see any of these, man, come to the rock, yeah? I'm going to kick one of the granddads in the hip replacement, the racist bastard, yeah? And when he's on the floor, I'm going to pull on his balls, both of them. Yank on them, they'll never come back to the rock, you know? What are we doing?
Allen Rock is a part of
What are we doing?
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what we're doing.
It's actually not far from Boards of the Green. It's a kind of cyclical immigrant area. It used to be a very, very big Irish area. And then the Irish became middle class and moved out and have been subsequently replaced with Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi peoples. And it's now a very, very heavily Asian diaspora area.
And they'll probably end up being middle class and moving out as well anyway.
And being replaced by Romanians or something, yeah. There are loads of areas like that, yeah. It's basically the cheap part of town. So the migrants have to go there, you know? That's the way it is.
It's almost like entirely marketizing our housing stock so the only reason why people are living places because it's all that they can afford because of gentrification elsewhere, rather than having everybody living amongst each other in council housing that is the same standard for everybody, was a bad idea for community cohesion.
Indeed.
The kids, yeah, it doesn't matter if you're black, brown, white, working class, didn't matter. All of our mums, all of our grandmas told us one thing. They said, don't lie. Don't tell porkies. Don't tell fibs. And as I get older, I realise that there's a reason that they said that. And that is because when you lie, when you tell fibs, when you twist the truth, you end up in the place that we are now. You see, the truth represents something which is important, because my truth and your truth might be slightly different things, but our truths come secondary to what the actual truth is. And by chasing the truth, we can talk, we can discuss, we can come to an agreement that grooming gangs, and other pedos and nonces and wrong-uns, all of us collectively have to shun them. But all of us collectively have to shun the people that have been out in the streets screaming Paki at people who are black, screaming dirty Paki, dirty terrorists, dirty Muslim at innocent people. Kurdish barbers who are trimming your son's hair every week, you smile in his face, and now you're on a riot, burning down a hotel. What's going on? Well, I can offer my 2 pennies or my 3 rupees into the situation and maybe suggest that the people that have been lying to you, the people that have been grooming to you, the people that have been telling you things online that have elements of truth to them, but huge amounts of disinformation, are the people here that you need to take a closer look at. Yeah, this geezer that keeps running off the Spain. My Muslim brother, Mr. Andrew Tate, out here spewing more shit than a broken U-bend in a toilet. It's awful. It's all rubbish. Yeah? If you want to get to the truth, you have to discuss the things that are really getting to you. It's making me emotional, man. I'm born and raised in the city of Coventry. I haven't run off and swanned off everywhere. I still live where I am. I still greet the people in the streets that I grew up in. White, black, Asian, we couldn't care less who you are. If you're sound to us, we're sound to you. And there's been wrong-uns. They've been black, brown and white. There's been incredible people throughout my life. They've been black, brown and white, but the majority of them have been working class. And it hurts me that right now there's sections of the working class who are willing to tear each other apart over what? Over people that are telling you that the geezer that came over to this country and built businesses and paid his taxes, that because of the religion that he follows, that he's your enemy. Bullshit. There are people in this country who are trying to paint all working white class people who are clearly in pain, who have clearly suffered at the hands of the government through austerity, through lack of opportunities, through situations where they haven't been able to improve their lives for generations and generations. They're telling you that they're all the enemy? No, they're not. So we have a choice to make, don't we? Yeah? Either we are going to find common terms. Either we're going to look at each other and agree to disagree on some things, or we're going to look at each other and say, if you need help, if you're struggling...
Exactly, yeah. Class reductionism. That's what that is. Yeah, correct.
Do to try and make your life better. Yeah, because no one's going anywhere. So we can keep having chaos, and people can keep smashing up shops, and people can keep destroying each other's communities and burning down hotels, or we can be grown-ups and do like our parents, our mums and our aunties and our grandmas told us when we were kids, which is don't tell fibs. Don't lead people down a garden path which isn't true to benefit yourself. Because don't forget, there's a lot of people who are all this hate that's zipping around these communities are making a lot of money. Yeah. Hate is very profitable. Yeah? And
yeah, 5-star hotels in Ayia Napa are not free, are they, Tomo?
True. Very, very true.
That money ain't going to you. And that money ain't going to me. That money's going to people who continue to make more and more money off this violence and off this bullshit. So you got a choice. Are we going to get on? Or are we going to let this bullshit carry on? Up to you, mate. And remember, I know the brother who said, if they come here, I'm going to yank on his tete. Take it easy, man. Uncle needs them balls. He ain't going for much longer.
Yes, that is a very kind way of putting that, yeah. Oh yeah, Andrew Tate's a racist, naturally. Yeah, Rishi Sunak trying to again wash his hands, isn't he? Trying to wash the blood off his hands.
The reason why they're chanting "Stop the boats" is because the Prime Minister stood on a platform saying "Stop the boats." It literally is no more complex than that.
Yep. Melter. I honestly can't even be bothered listening to him. Like, you get as much information listening to it on mute than you do if you actually have the volume.
True. On. Like, and it's half past 10 already. If I start listening to Keir Starmer, I will fall asleep.
Yeah, absolutely. Good doggo. Nailed it. Yeah, Nigerians have been warned not to travel to the UK. They've got fucking Boko Haram and shit. And they're
also,
like,
thank you,
the UK's
Sergey,
fucked.
for 5 gifted.
UK's fucked, mate. Yeah, amazing.
Also, by the way, if you want to support Kevin and I, destroying our mental health by looking through this every single day, you can support us by becoming a subscriber on Twitch for $4.99 or for free with Twitch Prime by linking Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account for a super subscriber every month. It's not just the far right that make money out of this, as Gus Khan said. We and Kev also make money out of this by e-begging for money from our viewers.
That is true. And I promise you, I will spend it on the finest Chang. I'm only joking.
Absolutely. But yeah, so 100 bits gets you text to speech on my end, 200 on Kev's end. You can have a super chat on YouTube. I read it, or super chats on stream, regardless of value, as long as they're not rude. Memberships on YouTube are 99p. They're cheaper than a can of Red Stripe, as you see, gifted there by Jim Speak. You can become a member yourself, or you can gift. It's the best way to support the stream by boosting an algorithm spread the love around, as well as access to archive live streams and emotes in YouTube chat and in the YouTube comment section as well. And Kevin has PayPal as well for fee-free donations to the Kevin Being Able to Live Fund. Yes. And on top of that, we both have Patreons as well.
Indeed.
Plenty of places you can go to send us money for being for having real jobs, we promise.
True.
And thank you, Jim Sleep, for the 20 gifted. That's very much appreciated.
Indeed. When I say mutants as a replacement for that word, it's rarely actually true. But in this case, it might be. This couple attacked a Kurdish man with a metal pole and told him to get back to their own country. And I mean, just look at these two creatures. I don't even need to comment, do I, really? You can all see. You can all see perfectly well what they are.
And also, the problem is, the big problem here is that the reason why the Kurdish man was an asylum seeker is because he doesn't have his own country. Kurdistan doesn't exist, and he fled Syria because of fucking ISIS and the rebels and Bashar al-Assad and Turkey all at the same time.
True. only to get fucking attacked by these two members of the master race. Jesus. Fucking hell. The king and queen of meth. That is harsh to meth addicts. I've seen meth addicts in way better state than this. Oh yeah, weird story. Fucking RFK killed a bear and dropped its corpse in fucking Central Park. I've missed American politics for a couple of days, and you come back to the most crazy headlines. He's a fucking lunatic. Anyway.
Okay, can we? I'd just like to live in some precedented times, please.
Yeah,
can the times just be precedented for once?
Can Otto English get his way, and can we all just have some fucking quiet? Can we actually have some quiet?
I mean, it would be very precedented to have like a government redistribution program where we actually increase the living standards of people in this country by taxing the rich. That would be precedented. It would be revolutionary in terms of policy, but at least it would be a precedented time rather than what else the fuck is going on.
Kevin, have you killed a bear? No, I haven't killed a bear. Why would I have killed a bear? I fucked a couple, but that's a different meaning of the word bear. Anyway. So yes, this is Bordesley Green, an area I know relatively well. It's in the east of the city. That big McDonald's you see in the background used to be a pub, but we don't have pubs anymore because, like everything else, they closed. Yeah, so there's been rumours going around about the far right marching on the area. Thankfully, that hasn't seemed to have come to pass, but it means that it was probably disinformation or some shit, sparking huge crowds of people to essentially sort of take over the area, which is a bit rough. Anyway, this was live on Sky News, and it's a bit weird.
Community leaders have been speaking to the police as well because.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Fuck India!
But I think apologies for the language you're hearing, but a sense of the anger. I think you.
Yeah, somebody put this video in my comments.
I think
Somebody put this video in my comments saying, "Oh well, you can't live with these people." What somebody says, "Fuck the EDL, free Palestine." Yeah, but the real like terror things that he's saying here, absolutely terrible.
Also, if we're gonna have slightly menacing people, at least have slightly smarter ones who cover their fucking faces. Just saying, lads, the whitoids are not sending their best to do the right thing.
Hey, I apologise. We need.
So yeah, they basically had to cut her off, and then they ran off. The journalists, which is not ideal. It's not good that they were felt intimidated in that way, but like it's. I mean, ultimately they didn't do anything. They swore on TV. Oh no. Anyway, so and yeah, this is the crowd outside the masjid outside the mosque in Bordesley Green. They turned up to defend the place naturally, and yeah, as we'll see, they didn't turn up entirely unarmed. Anyway,
what were they armed with?
Well, we shall see in just a second. There's one lad with what looks like a machete or a sword or something. It's a bit fucked up. Anyway, yeah, so that's the NHS Birmingham Solihull Trust, basically telling their staff, stay safe. They might have to go into lockdown and all sorts. It's fucked up. Oh yeah, again, the Conservatives want to wash their hands of all of this. But this was literally from, 6 weeks ago during the election? This was an advert they put out.
Yes, how dare other parties be welcoming to people? Welcoming. How dare you welcome people? Oh, disgusting. It's like when people use do-gooder as an insult. Yeah, the do-gooders are terrible. I like the do-badders. The do-badders, they're the real salt of the earth in this country. The people who do bad. Exactly. I hate do-gooders.
Exactly. Ridiculous shit. So I mean, again, they've got blood on their hands. This is just a truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, just weirdos. Honestly, the right wing is so pathetic.
Britain is fish and chips by the ocean. Britain is the tea room with the thatched roof that has the beautiful jam and cream stones. Britain is the community that gathers at church every Sunday in praise. It's a nation of law and order. It's a nation of peace. And our government has betrayed that. It's time for the entire government to step down, and we're going to make Britain great again, folks. Britain is fish and chips.
Oh yeah, there's real salt of the earth lad there as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know his name, so we can't actually search, but I imagine if we did our search, we'd find Winchester College, and then Gonville and Caius Cambridge or something, you know what I mean?
It shows how much posh I am than the other. I know it's pronounced Gonville and Keys, but okay.
Well, okay, yes.
But yeah, like, what's interesting? I mean, did you see the tweet that I reput? Oh, you did. Maybe you retweeted as well, which was the lady called Charlie Bentley Astor.
Yes.
Like a talk TV and critic journalist, quote journalist in inverted commas. And I was just like, how fucking posh this person is. First of all, it's an invented name. They decided to change their name to make it more posh. But some of the replies were just like, yeah, your Telegraph columnist name is a name for a recreational drug, an upmarket car brand, and a Nazi sympathizer. And we had fun in the replies, creating new Telegraph names for us. What do you think this guy's name is, Kev? If you had to hazard a guess his Telegraph columnist name.
Oh, hang on. What was the thing again? So his name for a drug.
A colloquial name for a recreational drug, an upmarket car brand, and a Nazi sympathizer.
Chaz Mercedes. Nazi sympathizer. Deladier.
There you go. My one was Magic Mint Daimler Pavlich.
That works. Yeah. Anti-Pavlich.
So people who don't know, Magic Mint is a colloquial name for Salvia divinorum.
Yes.
Daimler was it's a now defunct UK car brand taken over by Jaguar Land Rover. And Ante Pavlich was the head of the Croatian fascist puppet state under Nazi occupation.
Indeed. Lovely reference point. Anyway,
I don't know who was the Nazi sympathizer you were referencing before, Kev?
Edouard Daladier. He was a former French prime minister who turned into a collaborator.
A Vichy.
Yeah.
France person.
Could have gone with a lot of other ones. Tissot is one of my favourite ones because he was literally an ordained Catholic priest who was the head of Slovakia.
Yeah, Ketman Bentley Himmler in chat.
Yes.
Although Himmler wasn't even a Nazi sympathizer, he just was a Nazi.
Yeah, well, indeed. I suppose a Nazi is sort of a Nazi sympathiser in the way that the rectangle is a square or whatever, you know.
Have I just doxed myself on what 3 words? Molly Beamer Goering.
Yeah, that works. Nice. Yeah.
If Ford was an upmarket brand, you could get Ford in there twice.
True. Muslim gravestones. Besmirched in Burnley. Lovely stuff. Oh god, the fucking Malta both sidesists. So this person says...
I replied to this as well, yeah.
Nice to see the anti-fascist lad here with a Chumbawamba t-shirt. Nice, lovely old school reference. For those who don't know, it wasn't I get knocked down by getting back up again bollocks, right? They were actually fucking based as shit. David Aronovich.
They did that. Yeah, New Labour sold out the dock workers and they'll sell out U2 was one of their lines, which I thought was great.
Indeed.
By sell out U2, I mean you also, not the band U2.
Who are themselves sellouts, of course. Literally fucking Bono going on about we need to all pray for Israel. Literally eat my fucking arsehole, mate. Fuck off. Anyway.
Bifta Jeep Irving. It's a good one.
Bifta? Love it.
Weed Alexis J. Keane.
Yes! I was thinking, who the fuck's that? Oh, yes, okay, I'm with you. Nice.
Tina Lincoln Chanel.
Chanel? Oh, okay. Oh, we're getting a bit fucking esoteric with it. Nice.
Cake Maserati Badenoch.
Don't joke about cake, okay? A friend of mine literally cuffed up his entire pelvis bone on cake.
It's a fucking disgrace.
It's a disgrace.
Horst Maybach Strasser.
Yeah, love it.
Clarky Cat Bugatti Petin.
Clarky Cat, fuck off. That's another fucking what do you call it reference? Brass eye. It's a brass eye reference. I'm not having you slipping in things that aren't actually words for it. You can't go the Jessup as one of them. I'm not having it.
Angel Dust McLaren Robinson. Was at some point that you two sending unsolicited terrible music? I remember there's a bar by Lady Leisha in RAP where she says, "You're annoying like when I went on my iPhone and I saw you two," which I thought was great.
Love her. Indeed, Crash Bandicoot. Yeah.
Ganji Fari Peron, yeah, good one.
Yeah. There was the punk festival happening in Blackpool, yeah, and it was good to see the punks both A, fighting back, and then B, cleaning up afterwards the day after.
Absolutely.
Anyway, the point was, the whole reason I raised this was not about Chumbawamba, or indeed brass eye nicknames for drugs, but David Aronovich being a both sidesy melting fucking dickhead. All I see is men punching each other. Is that how centrists see the world? It's just it's literally just individual moments that don't have any connection to anything else. Because in a very literal sense, it is two men punching each other. But if that's all you see out of this scenario, you don't understand the world at all. You shouldn't be a journalist. You should go back to school.
I mean, I will DM you the reply I made to David Aronovich.
Because it's so fucking stupid to strip it of every important aspect of context. To it just being why not strip it even further? Why not just say all I see is some Homo sapiens ingesting oxygen and expelling carbon dioxide? I'm so clever.
Yeah, turning protein intake into muscle energy.
Yeah, like it's so fucking unfathomably stupid. Yeah, literally. Yeah, absolutely. Hang on a minute.
Jaguar Rothmere. That's a good one.
Nice. All I see is people shooting each other. True. Oh.
Although there's people doing the tolerant left Captain America meme in the replies as well. All I see the Indiana Jones punching the Nazi, going, "All I see is two men fighting."
Yeah, exactly. Well, not just that, but all I see is one archaeologist aggressing against a person. That's all I'm saying. Okay. There's clearly an aggressor and a victim in that situation. Outrageous.
For people who don't know, this picture that I used in that response was a picture of the Battle of Stalingrad.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. All I see is some radical urban town planning. That's all that was going on there. The Germans just didn't like the architecture of the place. And you know what? I get that. I get it. Yeah. Ridiculous. Elon Musk trying to stir up civil war.
And Wall Street Silver as well. Yeah, literally, because obviously Wall Street Silver has been trending because he's been talking about the stock market collapse and the crypto collapse. Yeah. And I was like, I've got to look down their feeds to try and find what their tweets were, and just immediately came up a bunch of absolute gigantic racist dog whistle shit.
Yeah, so this is what this is. The idea that the police are too nice to Muslims, when again, literally the story before these riots broke out was the police at Manchester Airport trying to kick the head off a Muslim guy. I don't know that you can really say, "Oh, look, we're here to protect you." Shut the fuck up. Anyway, does seem one-sided. Yeah, but that's a cartoon. Yes,
that's a fucking Wojak meme that you've just seen there.
It does seem rather one-sided, but thankfully that's a cartoon rather than like real life. Like, I know they put it in a real place because Parliament does exist, but that's not a real. You know, the policemen aren't literally white Wojaks with bobby helmets on, right? Fucking hell. Unbelievable shit.
Yeah, all I see are communists shooting at patriots with legitimate concerns.
Yeah, exactly.
Nasty Stalinists.
So much for the tolerant left. Not welcoming in these foreign, these immigrants into their country. Oh, hypocrites much, communists. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that was Plymouth. It did get a bit more violent later on, unfortunately, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah. So this was a thing that was going around. They said they were going to British patriots meet at Allen Rock, Small Heath. Small Heath, an area I know well as well. It's actually where the Birmingham City football ground is. Again, very heavily Asian area of the city. And when I say Asian, obviously most of the people there were born here. I mean, like Asian diaspora. And they were going to meet at the Borsley Green McDonald's, which is just, down the road, which is where we saw all of those young men talking to a Sky News reporter a second ago.
And it's also quite jarring to see all of these messages trying to promote pogroms and riots over the top of the Telegram background, which is like cartoons of smiling cats and dinosaurs.
Yeah,
and
it is.
screens.
It is, yeah. Well, can someone come and pick their nan up? Because I mean, they're out in public, then they just, yeah, they need to not be. Oh yeah, this was Plymouth as well, wasn't it? Yeah, so it was bound to kick off a little bit. Although at least there are police there, which in Birmingham, I mean, I've been around the city a little bit today, and there's quite a febrile atmosphere because the police apparently they're all in the city centre, like just sort of protecting that basically, and the rest of the city is devoid of any policing, which is a little worrying. But there we go. Oh yeah, Wayne Rooney seems to have turned up in Plymouth as well.
Does that really look like Wayne? Oh, that does look like Wayne Rooney.
That's just fucking Wayne Rooney.
Remember the name?
Yeah. Also, for anyone wondering, that's not me. I know I'm a fat guy with a white guy with a beard, but I was not in Plymouth today. Yeah, Australians. Australia's flexing on us now. Oh God. Malta going on about football firms getting together. Get wrecked. Yeah, here we go. Live scenes from Birmingham. Or should I say they were live 3 hours ago. It's a lot of people, man. You can't really see a lot on that one, can you? What's this?
God, he looks like he's in fucking Gaza with the helmet on.
True, but to be fair, they have been throwing bricks, so I suppose it makes sense.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Zakat, for the 41-person raid. Welcome in, chatters. Please refresh your screens. Hello, you've done the Justice stream. I'm here with Kevin Logan. You know who it is. Of course you know Kevin Logan. If you don't, then you should know Kevin Logan. KFLogan1875 over on Twitch and YouTube and Twitter. Go and say hello. We're covering the UK disorder. Everyone in my chat and on YouTube, go follow Zakat, educational Twitch streamer. That is Zach, followed by AP over on Twitch. Go and do a follow, both YouTubers and Twitch viewers. I demand you go and follow.
Yeah. So that's the...
And Tina 2 raided like fucking 10 minutes ago, and I'd have my alerts were turned off, so I missed it. Welcome in Tina 2 raiders as well. Please also refresh your screens. Hello, Tina 2. Go and follow Tina_TOO over on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitch members as well. We're here with Kevin Logan too, as you've just heard. But twitch.tv/Tina_TOO. Canadian Twitch streamer, we stand.
Indeed. Oh yeah, the Sky News van had its tyres slashed in Brum, which we obviously disavow. That is bad. Don't do that. Just saying it happened. So it did happen. Yeah, the dogs. The dogs are fucking people up in Plymouth. Woof.
And you can see behind me there is a gathering and quickly gathering number of people.
Jess Phillips here saying, the rumours that the fire group were coming was done entirely to get Muslim people out on the street to drive this content. But they're not out on the street to fucking attack people. They're there to defend their community.
Yeah.
They're there as a bulwark. They're not there as an invasive force.
Yeah.
They're not out there going around trying to attack people. They're out there preparing for an invasion and defending.
Yeah.
They are the bulwark against the fascists.
The reason they met outside of the mosque and outside of the McDonald's was because those are the two areas where they were either going to meet or attack. They didn't randomly start roaming the streets looking for Whitey. It's entirely a defensive endeavour. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't people who broke off from that and did bad shit, which unfortunately has seemed to have happened, but the actual people themselves are largely Brummies who turned up to defend that shit.
Who've come out here due to organised activity within the community, they say, to protect property. Now, I was speaking...
Yeah, there's... you can't really see, hang on. Where is he? There's a lad with a big fucking knife. Where is he? There you go. You might be able to see him there. It's not a particularly clear image, but he's got.
No, I can't really see it.
He's got basically a machete in his fucking hand, and he's stood right by the traffic island. Like, it's not absolutely ideal. Is all I'll say. I get it. I get why people would do it in terms of defence, and if he doesn't use it on anyone that doesn't attack, fine. But like, oof, it's grim. Because again, you will have noticed in all of that footage.
When carrying a knife is basically illegal at this point, like.
Yeah, there are no police at all.
Yeah.
Anywhere in this image, look where they pan around. Do you see a single Dayglow jacket anywhere? There are no fucking police. I mean, again, what are we paying them for? Why do they're fucking shit? God damn. Yeah.
Thank you, In Red Flare, for the Prime sub. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, you want to use a Prime sub, you can pop over to either myself or Kevin's Twitch stream. And if you're an Amazon Prime customer, you can subscribe for free. It's literally free to subscribe on Twitch if you have Amazon Prime. We get paid from Jeff Bezos' money. It costs you nothing, and you get all the benefits of being a subscriber. So if you are a Twitch Prime user, but you've not subscribed with Twitch Prime, and you're watching on either of our YouTube channels, please come over to one of our Twitch channels and at least use your Prime sub, because that means Bezos gets less money, I get more money, and you get all the benefits for free.
True. So this was Jonathan Portis, Professor of Economics at King's College London, speaking with Trisha Goddard.
Yeah, absolutely. Jonathan Portis has been doing an incredibly good job of tackling the rhetoric up until now. So he's been really good at calling specifically Migration Watch, the think tank out, who are talking about the damage to Indigenous Britons, call him out and saying, please define what you mean by Indigenous. Because you mean white, but you won't say it. So if you mean not white and you mean people born in the UK, then say it and we can ignore this. Or you can continue not answering because you know you mean white. And of course, they've not answered because they obviously do mean white. He's been really good at... Yeah. He's been calling this out way before now.
And that's Migration Watch, which was founded and led for a number of years, and I think still is involved with, by Lord Green, literally a member of the House of Lords, who started that shit.
Obviously, one guest chat as to what address in London that think tank is registered to.
I'm going to guess it's based at the Wimbledon Lawn Tennis Association Club, or Tufton Street.
Yeah,
that
indeed,
one.
55 Tufton Street.
There you go. Honestly, that place needs to be fucking raided and shut down. It's a fucking cancer.
We're just getting this wrong. They may not explicitly call for violence, but they certainly justify it. They say enough is enough. They try to excuse it. That is precisely what is going on. So social media absolutely has a big part on this, but unfortunately it's a sort of interaction between the supposedly respectable media and social media that makes it particularly dangerous at the moment, I think.
Well, I said we were going to shine a spotlight on the media, and that doesn't set, as far as I'm concerned, we're in that spot.
Ironically, given that this is a Rupert Murdoch invention, Talk TV has some leftist audio issues right now, which is...
I mean, Trisha Goddard is usually one of the fairest presenters on Talk TV. She seems like an ocean of sanity within the remainder of
I just meant the quality of the audio rather than the things she's saying.
I mean, the quality of... I think, because she streams from home, I think.
Oh, okay.
When she does presenting on Talk TV, because she always has like green screen backgrounds. She's never in the studio, and she sometimes has like green screen that's so bad it looks like it's a TikTok filter. So I'm assuming she's doing it from home because she has a license to work from. Maybe she has some invisible disability. I don't know. But every single week, when she streams from home rather than from the studio, which I find quite interesting. On what looks like a laptop camera as well, rather than like a DSLR.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a legend in chat. How is Islam a race? Do you honestly think we've never encountered that as an argument before? We are aware that Islam is not a race. We are suggesting that people who talk about Muslims talk about them as a specific race.
And that indeed, and that the reason why Islam as a religion specifically gets denigrated so much is because its adherents are usually of a different race. They are treated as being alien because the people who belong to the religion are seen as being alien. Yeah. This is why racism seeps into it. Although really and truly, if you want to be explicit about the kind of people who are out here doing these pogroms, they are Islamophobes. Like, racism is part of it. The guy the kid who stabbed those children in Southport was black, but he was British. He was born in Cardiff, right?
Indeed.
So,
and they're not exactly, when they're like, firebombing hotels, they're not asking, are you Muslim or are you like a Hindu or what's your religious beliefs? They're not going into the fucking the person's beliefs on God. They just think, oh, they're brown, they're probably Muslim or P word. That's enough. You know.
Yeah.
So yes, we're aware, you intellectual behemoth, that Islam is not a race. But because of the reasons we've just outlined, it is clearly a racial issue.
Yeah.
Spotlight as well. Let me just, there's one presenter who calls Muslim people weirdy beardies and things. Those little names and things like that they might think is funny. I guess the reason they do it is the same thing, the same reason that people put things online is it's for clickbait. It's clickbait. It's to get people whipped up. But are you saying they don't think of what happened?
Do we know who she's referring to there? Who calls them weirdy beardies?
I'm not sure who that is that she's referring to, but it's interesting that I do think that there is definitely a group of grifters who get on this for money rather than for clout, or indeed for ideological reasons, right? People like Darren Grimes, I think he's peak grifter, just a Lib Dem Remainer up until he realised Brexit was an easier.
Can we call him by his correct name, please?
Or Crafty Wank, of course.
Crafty
Yes,
Wank,
you know.
yeah.
I hate to dead name Crafty Wank.
Indeed.
But the important part, of course, is that I believe he's doing it cynically. He is cynically doing things for clicks and for a media career. I think there are plenty of people who do that. I think Andrew Tate, was also grifting somewhat. I mean, his little rant he did in his car, he started talking about, well, people are mad because Andrew Tate is a toxic masculinity person, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's Andrew Tate in schools, whatever. Like, he made it about him,
yes,
which is very kind of grifty to me. But people like Tommy Robinson and Nigel Farage, they're the opposite. They are not grifters. They have been talking about these same ideological points for ages. Sure, they make money off of it, but broadly and truly, they actually care more about the ideology. The Paul Marshall, the guy who owns GB News and soon to be Spectator and The Telegraph, and also Unheard currently as well, he is also somebody who's happy to incinerate his own money for this. GB News is a loss-making organisation, but he believes in the kind of stuff that he talks about, this kind of very right-wing policy. He believes in it wholeheartedly, and he's happy to spend his money, lose money on his business projects to try and cement and foment these narratives.
Beyond their studio time, beyond, when they've turned off the microphone.
Yes, I think that's exactly right. A lot of it is clickbait. It's motivated. It's commercial reasons. They think it's what sells. It's what attracts viewers, and you see that. And again, that is true. It's true online with tweets. It's true in the mainstream media with some of the things that you see on some TV channels and indeed in the press. And again, it's the interaction of that. The mainstream media, television and news, and the print media, online print media, with social media, because you can stay just about the right side of respectability, on a news channel or in the press, but it very quickly is picked up by people on social media who have no such restraints, and then of course that leads to the sort of firestorm that we've seen over the last few days.
Yeah. Is there a difference though? Because it depends what newspaper you read, and you mentioned print then, so let's talk about print for a moment. And I mean, I read as research like right across, if you like, the political spectrum, and there are very different views. I mean, I can find stories of warmth, and I was for our faith panel within, the Independent News, the Guardian and the Times. I'm not saying that they don't print otherwise, but they're journalists and they're actually go there. There's a difference, isn't there, between a journalist who has to truly adhere to certain standards, and I'm a journalist and a commentator.
Yeah.
Journalists don't have to go to better standards. What do you think the Daily Mail is as a publication?
I was about to say, it's a bit rich saying that on a platform started by fucking News International. Like, yeah, you don't get to be a Murdoch fucking freak and then say, well, journalists have to be able to understand. What the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly. Also, thank you, My Left Eye, for the raid over on YouTube. Appreciate it. Welcome in, everybody. Please drop a like and a subscription. I'm here with Kevin Logan.
Oi, oi.
You can follow at KF Logan 1875 over on Twitch and Floppy111 over on YouTube. Please go and do a follow to Kevin. Kevin is carrying me through the Birmingham riots today as a brummie himself.
Indeed. And everyone, God bless them. My chat going, are you safe, Kirby? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm a white lad who looks like a Muslim, so I've got it again. I've got it either way, you know. Thank you to Balfour for gifting us up. Much love. Much love.
But to the people outside, they don't understand that, so they will take as fact, as gospel, something that a commentator who says. They'll take an opinion as fact.
I think that's right, and in general, I think actually this, or the standards of journalism, of reporting in most of our press remain quite high for the reasons you've said. But that certainly doesn't apply to opinion commentators. And again, I think you're right that the nature of the way the market works, I say this as an economist, is that there is unfortunately a bit of a race to the bottom for clicks. If you say something that is particularly striking or gets attention and gets picked up or goes viral, you can make a career out of that, you can make money out of that, and the question of whether it's a sensible thing to say or a true thing to say is somewhat secondary.
And
not somewhat secondary, it's entirely irrelevant to a lot of people. There are people who would eat dog shit for money. They don't care.
I mean, yeah, look at Mr.
gross.
Beast, right?
Yeah. Although he's by no means the worst in terms of, like, necessarily lies. He just creates slop.
Or that he gets people to do things that are incredibly dangerous.
Dangerous and horrible things, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, like, spending 100 days locked up, right?
Yeah. Didn't he recreate fucking Squid Game? Yeah, like he's
in the most fucking and like the gigantic irony bending.
Yeah.
Spectacle.
Yeah. Don't create this thing, it says author, and then they go and create it and go, oh, it's amazing, look at this. Fuck off, man. Anyway, yeah, I mean, there are grifters out there who will say and do it. I mean, I think one of the most obvious ones is someone like Blair White, who's happy to throw her entire community, as it were, under the bus for money, clicks, etc. Like, it doesn't matter. She would happily call for her own genociding if it made her money.
Exactly.
The other thing that you're talking about is the making of money, and I think that's rarely talked about. I mean, across all of the media, including online and posts and likes and what have you, for a large part of the area, people forget that news is one part of the deal, but money making is probably an even bigger part of the deal.
That's right. I mean, people, I think, as I understand it, people on Twitter who have blue ticks, I don't have one, get paid for engagement. Obviously, in the media, if you publish an article, the more it is clicked on, the more advertising revenue generate for the publication. So there certainly is that
again, the free market destroying something positive. Yeah.
100%. And this is how social media algorithms work as well, right?
Yeah.
Rather than making money off of the clicks and the views that you get on the website, you get money by targeting adverts to people who continually engage with your platform. Whilst inflammatory headlines get you to click on the inflammatory headline to look at the information within the article.
Yeah.
Inflammatory engagement on social media, things that are contentious, things that get people arguing for hours and hours, like the crazy Twitter argument threads that you see. This allows you to get people to scroll Twitter so you can target more ads at them. That is the monetary incentive that is provided by the advertising model.
Yep.
Competition, and I think that does certainly on the right and far right of the political spectrum, that has driven quite a lot of what you see among some commentators is people drifting further and further right and into more and more dangerous territory, precisely because they find actually that gets more clicks and hence generates more money for them and their publishers.
Does it also work in politics as well, though, with language? I mean, we've got Keir Starmer, people getting angry with him calling people thugs, and you've got, people like Suella Braverman feeling that she's been frozen out because of claims of her going further and further to the right. When it comes to a popularity contest...
The Suella Braverman thing was especially funny, because she was like, I've been called mad, bad and dangerous. And I was like, yeah, those are just accurate descriptions of you, yeah. Like...
Yeah, I did. And they didn't. Did they mention evil? They mentioned disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. You got
also adjectives that are accurate.
Yeah, you got away with quite a diplomatic series of words there.
Yeah,
people could have been a lot harder, actually.
Yeah.
Test, which so much of this seems to be. Excuse me for being cynical. Where if it's popular to be outrageous, you have to up the ante. You have to become more and more outrageous in what you put out there, in what you say.
I think there's a lot to that. So we saw, for example, Lee Anderson, the former Conservative, now Reform MP, saying, again, very much, saying some fairly outrageous things, tweeting a completely unsubstantiated allegation.
Yeah, exactly. Like with the Muslim guy getting his head kicked in the Manchester airport, Anderson was literally saying he would give that police officer a medal. What? Like, even if you want strong policing, and even if you think the Muslimics are a threat, blah blah blah, like, that guy was prone on the ground and he kicked him in the fucking head and stamped on his head.
Yeah, literally, it's like attempted murder, essentially.
Yeah, like, and you'd give him a medal. I wonder what they'd say if that was a white working class British lad. Whether you'd have quite the same reaction, Mr. Anderson.
Exactly. They would shriek about two-tier policing.
Exactly.
That a hotel that was in fact being used by nurses from the NHS was being used to house asylum seekers, and then making a pathetic after the fact half-hearted apology a few hours later, because he knows that's what that gets him attention. It plays to a certain constituency. It guarantees clicks, and it raises his profile.
And yet it would have been so dangerous. Can you, just as you're saying that, can you imagine NHS nurses and a mob like that turns up outside because some idiot has said, erroneously said that that's where asylum seekers are. I'm not saying that, it's just frightening. Legally, though, there's no redress. I mean, people will always come back to freedom of speech, the freedom of the press. It's funny, again, with our...
Right, but that's obviously disingenuous. Literally, I know I'm going to break the fucking Godwin's law, but literally actual Hitler, not Jeremy Corbyn, but the actual human being called Adolf Hitler, literally made these exact same arguments, that he was being silenced, that his free speech was being curtailed. This is the thing that fascists do. It's disingenuous and it's dishonest. There is a difference between saying something which might be a bit controversial and saying things that are to be untrue in order to stoke racist violence. People like Lee Anderson should be prosecuted for their involvement in this. I don't think for a second they will be, but they ought to be.
I agree.
Our faith panel, I was talking with the Reverend Chris Lowe, and she was talking, everybody's about me, my rights, but my responsibilities, the responsibilities seem to be all but forgotten.
I think this is a very difficult area because I think that short of direct incitement to violence, there are important free speech principles, and I don't think that we or at least the bar should be very high for closing down media publications or banning them. On the other hand, the people who run these organizations, the proprietors, the editors, and so on, should take responsibility. I'm quite happy of calling them out. People, the editor of the Times should take responsibility for publishing racists and liars like Melanie Phillips and Rod Liddle.
True.
The editor of the Spectator.
Fucking true.
I mean, like the amount of times that Melanie Phillips as an individual gets put on panels, gets given roles, gets given columns to be able to write her screeds in. The amount of times she's that, and nobody ever mentions. Is it not worth mentioning that she was mentioned in fucking Anders Breivik's manifesto? Is that just not important enough information?
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. No, what you also need to do is give a fucking season ticket to Question Time for Farage. That's also a really good thing that can only help.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Fraser Nelson should take responsibility for publishing, as he did, an endorsement of a neo-Nazi party in Greece or endorsements of various fascists across Europe. But I don't think those people should necessarily be, I don't think those publications should be shut down, but there should be some sense of responsibility.
Thank you so much. Some very, very strong words. I'm sure that our viewers will be get going on that. But it's refreshing. And I said we would, when I talk about shining a spotlight, it's without fear or favour. There you have it. Jonathan Portis, Professor of Economics and Public.
Is that the end of that particular bit?
Yeah, I think that is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Also, Sarah in chat says, "Hate the Times, the intellectual arsehole source of news and opinion." The Times is the worst news publication in the country. Because the Telegraph is only read by like a handful of weirdo cranks. The Daily Mail and the Sun aren't really taken seriously, but you get everything that you get in all of those latter three publications in the Times with the veneer of respectability because it's a quote-unquote paper of record, even though it's just another fucking Murdoch hack publication for people who think that they're intellectual, but really they just want justification for their bigotry.
It hasn't been the paper of record in any genuine sense for like 50 years.
Exactly. And the fact that it still has this elevated level of people taking it seriously when it's just a fucking Murdoch propaganda outlet for the right wing. Like, no, I'm sorry. You cannot have it both ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the Times is like patient zero for like the anti-trans stuff as well. That shit didn't start in the Mail and the Sun. That shit did not start in the Mail and the Sun. That shit comes directly from places like the Times.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Should we call it there?
I'm
for 3.5 hours.
Well, I haven't. You have been going that long.
That's true. I have been because I started earlier than you did. But yeah, even so, it's still really fucking grim dealing with this stuff. So
it is very unpleasant. Yes.
Yeah, for our own mental health. Should we go into cosmopolitics?
Yeah, let's do that.
Who's live on the YouTubes as well? Let's have a look.
Don't know.
Let me just one check one. I think my thing is out of date because it's saying me my left eye is live. I know that he isn't. Oh, it says Noah Samson is live. It's been a while, but he has raids turned off. Okay.
Well, this is going spectacularly well.
I'll put you into Al Jazeera. There you go.
Oh wow. Okay. I didn't.
No one else is live on YouTube.
Well, I didn't realise you were going to raid into ISIS TV.
I don't have a look to see if there's anyone like if I just search leftist. No live stream for leftists. Socialist.
Jackson Hinkle's probably going, isn't he? I imagine.
Does he still do streaming? I thought he had like proper like.
I had no idea.
Well, Midwestern Marks is live. Not that I would raid into him anyway, but he is live. But he does not have raids turned on either.
Yeah.
But Al Jazeera is then.
The gobshite. Anyway, yes, go and say hello to Cosmopolitics, who is a good person, and they're covering American politics and all that jazz.
And I think she's struggling with cash as well right now. So if you can go and throw money at her for the hard work that she puts in, I highly recommend doing so.
Indeed.
I am. As much as I shill a lot, I shill because it's my job to shill, but I am very much fine at the moment. I think that Christina could do with some help, so if you could go throw some Bezos bucks, that'd be
appreciated. We're whinging about that. She's been going 5 hours and still powering through, so go and be generous if you can. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what you're up to, but you can obviously do whatever you're up to.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be back tomorrow as well, yeah.
Okay. See you
Take care,
all
stay
later.
safe, free Palestine, bye-bye.
Bye.
Women who were single working mothers could adopt kids.